crafters. Welcome back to All the Yarns podcast. I am Lindsay, also known as All the Yarn on Instagram and All the Yarn Dash on Ravelry. Let's get started with the crafts. So, I have one FO, and this FO was not even a whip the last time that I recorded, and it's done. And I'm very excited with it because it's an entire sweater. Isn't that cute? I know it looks all plain Jane. This is plain Jane in the front and a party in the back. Look at that. Now, this is freshly off the needles. I woven all the ends, but I have not cut them yet. It is heading for the blocking mats as soon as I get off this, but I'm super excited about it. It is, I'm just gonna talk about it. So it's got this detail in the back. It also has, and you're not gonna be able to see it very well because it's not been blocked, but it has this great rib, twisted rib detail along the side, along the length. Cannot see it at all. Let's see if I can open it up. Along the length of the sleeve. And then you also have this cute detail here where that ribbing takes over for the cuff. It was super fun. It is a split hem, slightly longer in the back. This was an absolute joy to knit, obviously, because I got it done so quickly, but in under a month, I think. Yes, just under a month. So I'm super excited about it. It is a test knit. Its current name is Jersey Peach. Sometimes though, I test knit things under one name and then when they release it, it comes under a different name. But I will link, well, I can't link. I will update the links on the show notes below once this is released. So if anyone is interested in this pattern, they will be able to purchase it once it is made public. So I'm super excited about it. I knit it out of my own colorway. I do dye yarn. This is, you can kind of see it. Yeah. It's just a nice tonal, kind of light blue, but not, here's a skein of it. It's light blue, but it's not baby blue, because I don't care for baby blue. But I'm a fan. I really like it. It's my colorway Solitude. And now I have a sweater out of it. It's my favorite colorway. Okay, so that's my only finish object. But I've still been busy, I promise. All right, the Katniss Poncho. So when you guys last saw it, I don't know, because it's nearly done. Look how it's very gauzy. It's very long. I think I was here. I don't know. It stretched out so much when I blocked it. It is not done. It still has a very long tail, as you can see, because I have to seam it together to make it a true poncho. But the knitting part is done. I just have to seam. I was hoping to seam before I could record, but the schedule is what it is. I really got to record now, and I'll finish this another time. But I'll bring it back next time to show you what it looks like once it's been seamed. This is made out of Cascade Echo Wool. It is, oh, I don't remember the designer's name, but it's called the Katniss Poncho, and I will link it down below. It was a nice mindless knit. It wasn't completely mindless because you at least needed to know if you were working on the front or the back. But as long as you could keep that straight, it was great. It was great for, you know, just if you had other things to do. I mean, it stayed in my car. So anytime I was waiting in my car for something, because, you know, pandemic, there's a lot of time that you have to wait in your car for whatever reason. This was my car knitting while waiting around. So it really opened up quite a bit. And I'm curious to see what this looks like once it seamed, I did not think that it was gonna fit me, so I was planning on this being a gift. I think now it may actually fit me, but it still probably will be a gift. But it got a lot softer, which I made a cardigan out of Cascade Echo Wool. It did not get softer. I don't wear that cardigan very much just because, well, I went through that last episode. But this actually did get a lot softer, and it doesn't feel quite as sheepy. So I don't think it's going to be as bothersome as that cardigan is. Here is my rainwater cardigan. I had just a couple inches on the sleeve, and I've done quite a bit more. Let's compare, shall we? See about where we are. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see that. Oh, look at that. Not much at all. So that's exciting. Just a little bit more on this sleeve, and then I need to pick up the collar and knit. This will hopefully be done very quickly. This is, I don't have any of my notes with me. Hold on. Okay, I'm back with notes. So this is the Katniss Poncho by Sylvi Designs out of Cascade Echo Wool. This number is Running Water. I guess it goes this way. Running Water by, oh, it's very wrinkly. It's been sitting in a bag. Himawari Designs. Himawari Knits. There we go. And this is out of, I'm making it out of Cloudborne Fibers, which is the brand of yarn for Blueprint, which used to be called Craftsy. I think sometimes it's still called Craftsy. I know it is Blueprint, but yeah. So Himawari knits, just a couple more inches to go on this sleeve. Oh man, that is so tempting to just want to drop everything and finish it. I don't think I can do it today. And the Katniss Poncho. Guys, I'm so close to finishing these things. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Here is my massive, like massive. It's the Einplein Air Cardigan that has been on the needle since Christmas Eve 2017. It's been a while. It's very, anyway, this sleeve is done. This sleeve is started. They work up fairly fast because it is Aran weight. It's very thick yarn. So it does work up fast, but I have another sleeve to go. And then I don't quite like the collar. It looks nice now, but when I actually put it on, it tends to only fold like this. So it's too long to just keep it straight up, but it's too short to be like, it needs a nice, big, thick, floppy collar. So I'm going to rip out nearly all of it. It is what it is. And add some more short rows to make that collar a little bit more floppy. But lots of progress, right? One sleeve down, one sleeve to go. And I already kind of knew about that collar going into it, so I gotta get that done. But it's coming. So there's another knit that's not quite as close as those other two, but still, it's getting there. And then, oh, I had another FO. I was thinking it was a whip, but it's not. It's an FO. It's a proper FO. Okay, so this was on my loom. It's been on my loom for a while. It is my first big project on my rigid heddle loom, which I'm still very much experimenting on. I can whip out a scarf in about 2 days, and that's kind of what I've been doing. I wanted to try a larger project, so this was it. And when I warp it directly onto the loom. So I warped something that was really long. I didn't really measure it. And then I went until it was full. So this is what I got out of it. I did hem. Let's look at that hem. There's no puckering at all. I can sew sometimes. Got a little corner right there. So I wasn't sure what to do with this because I just had this really long piece of fabric. So I folded it in half. So this is how much I have folded in half. It's really big, guys. It's really big. Oh, can you see it? Yeah. Oh, no, not all the way. Okay. Oh, leaning back. Whew. It's like a flag. All right. So I have this really big, long piece of fabric. I thought, okay, do I just use this as fabric and I try to make something out of it? But it is made out of a lot of silk and cashmere, which is really sad but I had bought a D-stash of Plucky, not knowing what was in it. It was just like, here's a lot of miscellaneous Plucky yarns. And it was all this cashmere, but there wasn't, I mean, if you look at this, okay, the colors kind of go together, but this isn't something I would have planned to have worn. I don't know. So I just threw them all together into this, and I ended up making it into a poncho. The bottom edge is still rough. I think I can throw this on. Ooh. And then it's just, I seamed right here, so I left a hole for my neck. I seamed it a little ways, and then I left some, yeah, so I just put in this little seam right here, and I've got a poncho. So I wore this a ton, and then it started getting warm. So it's probably gonna get put away for a little bit, but around the house, if we were camping people, I would probably wear it around a campfire. It's super warm. It stays in place because of that seam. So I don't know. I'm not saying I'm gonna make 1,000 of these and make a killing by selling them, because I don't think that's anywhere remotely gonna happen. But it was a fun experiment and I got something out of it. So yeah, I'm super excited about it. So there. So that was my FO, my second FO. I had a sweater and I finished that poncho. Not just like got it off the loom, but I had to pin and play and figure out, what am I doing with all this fabric? How am I gonna make it fit on me? I mean, so it took some playing around with to get that shape out of it, which seems super easy now, but at the time when all you're looking at is this massively long piece of fabric, it took a minute to come to that. So anyway, so it's my second FO. But then I have all these other whips that I've been working on. And speaking of whips, I can't hardly show this, but I have made a little bit of progress on my Tulip Shawl. I stopped. Isn't that pretty? Oh man. I haven't looked at this for weeks because I've been working on that blue sweater. Oh man. Dude, beaded lace. Oh, that's pretty. So this is where I had knit these like wings, and now I'm filling in the wings. Can't really see it. It's not attached to the bottom, so it'll eventually go out straight again. But I'm filling them in with this green beaded lace. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my goodness. Sorry, oh, it's so pretty. And it's so fun to knit. Oh. That is Tulips by Andrew Beto, and it is knit out of Madelinetosh. So what else? Let's see. Oh, yeah. So I haven't shown this yet. This is something I created, designed. Sounds weird to say I designed it, but I have a ton of scraps, and I am not someone that can just easily get rid of scraps. I feel like it's wasteful. I spend so much money on yarn, and I'm okay with that, but then I don't want to waste it. I was reading somewhere that someone, after they're done with the project, they just throw away whatever's left of the yarn so that they don't accumulate anything, and that kind of makes my heart go, what? What? I can't, that's not me. So I came up with this as a stash buster. So it starts off, and I just faded it into this extra long section here, and then started reversing those colors, and I'm fading it back. So I'm on, let me get to that spot again. So I'm back to that white section, and then I've got some gray to do. And I stay with the color until I run out. A lot of times I stay with a particular color until I run out. But sometimes, like with this one, oh, it's right in my lap. It's like, oh, did it fall? It fell into my lap. I have quite a bit left. Sorry, it did fall into my lap, so there's like a huge tail here. All right, so like this one though, there's a lot left. Like this would make that white section really big, and this shawl is already getting to be near where I want it. I mean, like, here's a practice run. Shawls on shawls, man. Yeah, I don't want it to get too much bigger because it hasn't been blocked yet even. So I won't do the whole thing of this. I did, let me see. I ran out of this color. I worked until I ran out of this color. I ran out of this color. I still have more of this left, but I felt like that section was big enough. I didn't want to make it any bigger. So I don't have much of this gray left, so I will work that until it's all done. So I'll probably, once this is done, I'll still have a little bit of this color, and I'm going to have some of this left that will still be in my stash, but the rest of those colors I will have knit until there is nothing left. I have a gorgeous shawl out of it. I used every piece of whatever skein of yarn that went into that, so I feel good. So this is actually my second one of those that I have made, and I have a tentative pattern written, but it's tough to write a pattern, at least to me. One, I've never written a pattern, but it's also tough because, you know, it's really up to the knitter. You know, you can go this many rows, or you can go until you're out of yarn. And so like these bottom stripes, the top, these couple of stripes, these are all like the same number of rows until you get to here where there's more. But then the bottom ones just, you know, they're not as even because it just goes until you're done. So I don't know how to write that. I mean, as an experienced knitter, I would know how to read that, but to write that up, I don't know. I'm gonna try. I've got it written to a point. I don't know, maybe I'll find some friends that can test knit it. If you want to test knit it, you can comment below and say, hey, I'll test knit that, and I'll email that pattern to you. I don't care. I really like it. It's, in fact, let me show you my other one that I made just because it's really fun. Hold on. Okay. So this one's not, I mean, it's a little bit kind of fadey, but it's more color blocks. And these are all leftovers. I made Andrea Mowry's Brioche Luscious shawl. And then I made this shawl from the leftovers. So again, I kind of start with something darker, go lighter, and just work my way through the colors, and then work my way back out. And so I did not have a lot of that light blue and that white left over from the shawl. So those stripes were really, really tiny. In fact, I don't think I have a little bit of white, but hardly any. So those stripes were really tiny, but put this sucker on. It's so pretty. It is, a promise. Okay, so that's on the needles. I feel like that's a lot. One other thing that we have to do that I like to do on this podcast, and that is what am I grateful for? And this time I am grateful for these two colors. You may notice I'm going to pull a lot of blues, mint greens, a ton of blues. That's my color. Obviously I'm wearing bright colors today because it's nice and sunshiny outside and it's making me happy. These colors make me happy. I love yellow. It makes me happy. But this girl's favorite color is blue in tons of different shades. So these colors, road less, yarn less traveled, road less traveled, less traveled yarn. This is, I believe it's Nordic Narwhal. It's kind of getting blown out. Let's see if we can. It's a little bit better. No, it just doesn't want to focus. I'm sorry. This one is Prickly Pear, which has just a little bit of that sage minty green in there, along with blue, which you may notice is a little close to my Solitude color. Boy, these are really getting blown out. Usually isn't that bad. I'm not recording at the same time I normally do. It's not quite the same, but it's close. It's because it's my favorite color. So, so less traveled yarn, well done in dyeing your colors. They're absolutely gorgeous. This is Nordic Narwhal and Prickly Pear, and two of my favorite skeins, which I hope to turn into a shawl before the end of the year. I've got so many big plans, but you know, I am trying to knit with all the yarn. I love all the yarn. So we'll see. Hopefully my little fingers can move. I do not have anything currently on my rigid huddle loom. I am hoping to warp it for another one skein scarf. I really like those. I like how fast they go. And I think after this massive poncho that took months to do, I need something fast to just kind of get something off that, you know, get through that very quickly. On a good weekend, I can get a scarf out, you know, in a weekend, so it won't be this weekend. Even though it's a holiday weekend, I just have too many other things going on. I am doing things around the house. Is it crafting? If it's DIY, does that count as crafting? I don't know. But I'm doing a lot of painting. I'm doing a lot of painting and staining. One of the bathrooms, I'm doing painting downstairs pretty soon. When this is done, I'll be painting outside. I'm moving some plants around in our gardens outside. So, oh, and I have to sew. Guys, I have no time this weekend. Oh, not to knit anyway. So I'm sewing more masks. I'm trying to make sure that all of my coworkers have at least one. Some have asked for a second one, and I just got the elastic in the mail this week, so most of them are done. Not within reaching distance, but I have a lot that are done that they've just been waiting for the elastic. So I should be able to pound some of those out really quickly. I got a pegboard. I'm kind of excited. I was looking at pegboards to help organize my weaving tools because they're huge and they kept ending up on the floor. That's not responsible weaving. Don't put your weaving tools on the floor. But I did. So I have this pegboard now. Have all the stuff up. A lot of this has to do with weaving. The little trays down here are more of they're progress keepers. They're my knitting. Little bobbins. Look at that. That's what you put. You can put up to 20 grams, a 20-gram skein, mini skein onto one of these. They're super cute. But in the mass reorganization that happened in my craft room, when I put this pegboard up, you can barely see kind of up in here. These are my circular, well, these are my circular needles, and these are the cords that go to a couple of my interchangeable sets. And when I was in the middle of all this reorganization, some of my cords had gotten, I don't know, wound too tight. How do you say it? Like, they've gotten, you know, you kind of fold them over to, this one's too small, but do you know what I mean? Like, you kind of put them into loops to put them into a pouch, and that's kind of one way to store them. Well, they've gotten just a little too kinky. They'd started to remember those kinks. So I took some very hot water, not quite boiling, but hot water, and put all my cords in it, and they really relaxed, which is great. That's what I was hoping was going to happen. But now I don't want to put them back into the same places that I had just taken them out of, because that's just going to happen again. At least it feels like that's what's going to happen again. So I have them hanging up here for now, and because I don't have enough things to do, I'm going to try to sew, like, I don't know how to explain it. I have nothing. I need a visual. I have no visuals hanging around me. Are you empty? Yeah. All right. I'm going to try and sew like a piece of fabric like this, maybe some interfacing so it's got just a little bit of stiffness to it, and then like a smaller strip of fabric that has like the slots so that I can put the cords through it and it'll help hang it. I mean, in my head, that will work. So I have that on my plate. I really want to get done because I like this a lot. And I love to organize. I like to stay organized. And this was a game changer for me because I just haven't had the loom long enough to figure out a storage method. And this was mine. This is great. I love it. So some of my weaving stuff had been over here, and this was kind of getting out of control, so putting it all up there was kind of amazing. If you notice, my loom is no longer here. Look, I'm still playing. These are all my hooks to put into the pegboard. I have them all laid out because I'm still working through it. It's only been up a couple of days. But when I moved that here, I had to move the loom. I put a bookshelf behind me. So all these things got rearranged. It was epic. I love moving furniture around. I love reorganizing. So it was a lot of fun. I'm super excited about this. I love that I have a good idea, I think, for my interchangeable needles or my interchangeable cords, and then also my circular needles. Just got to get on that sewing machine again, which I have to be on anyway because of the masks, all of the things. I got to craft all of the things. So I cannot wait to see you guys again and, you know, let you guys see all the progress that I've been making on my different crafts. I would love to hear what you guys are up to, so please give me a comment below as far as what crafts you're working on, and I will see you guys later. See ya! Have a good day!